Good evening. Welcome to Debt Free. Let's see how quick it goes. Tiffany, good evening. Thank you so much for joining, friend. Tonight is Debt Free Thursday. We usually do it on a Friday, y'all, but tonight we're doing it on a Thursday. Debt Free Thursday. Good evening to everybody that is entering the room. I'm just going to wait a few minutes, trying to share out the live and tap it out. Good evening, my people on the YT. Good evening. Tonight is Debt Free Thursday. Debt Free Thursday. We are going to talk about breaking debt cycles in the family. Such an important topic. Breaking debt cycles in the family. Trust shop. Thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly appreciate it. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. We are going to be talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. Breaking the cycles, y'all, in the family. That's what we're going to be doing. We are going to be talking about it tonight. Waiting for a few more people to come into the room. Truly appreciate everybody for being here, watching on the live, watching on the replay. Also, let me know if you watch this on the replay, type in replay to let me know, because I see you guys on the YT. I see you guys watching. Y'all never put the replay, but I know y'all be watching. So if you are enjoying my content, friend, I would truly appreciate it if you can type in replay in the YT in the comments and let me know that you watched it. Okay? Truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate it. Just waiting for a few more moments, you guys. Just, let people come into the room. You send out the live, share it out. You give people time to get a chance to come in the room. Get a chance to come join the live. Truly appreciate it. Tati, thank you so much for joining, friend. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. Truly appreciate you tonight. So tonight we are going to be talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. Let me know if you are new to my room. If you are new to my room, then put new in the chat. Let me know, friend, if you are new. YMRM. Thank you so much, friend, for joining. Truly appreciate you being here. Let me know if you are new to my room. My name is Janine. I am a budget coach. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. Tonight, we're going to be talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. As you see the question above, if you want to answer, will your kids inherit debt or freedom? Thank you so much, me, for joining. Thank you so much. Call me, Ari. Thank you so much. Call me. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Tina, thank you so much for joining, friend. Thank you so much for all of the new people that are joining. Maria Marie, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. Tonight, we're going to be talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. Breaking debt cycles in the family. If you could answer this question up here, will your kids inherit debt or freedom? Let me know. We're going to be talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. User, thank you so much for joining. Truly appreciate everyone for being here. When you enter the room, it will be greatly appreciated if you like the live, if you share out the live, if you also come up here and get your engagement points. That lets TikTok know that you're not a bot and that you, Sylvia, thank you so much for joining, friend. I truly appreciate it. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. Tonight, we're going to be talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. If you are new to my room, let me know where you are watching from or put new in the chat. Let me know. Again, we're going to be talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. So powerful. I'm just waiting a few more minutes to see more people coming into the room. If you can like the live, if you can share out the live, it would be greatly appreciated. Truly appreciated. I'm going to see who else is coming in the room. Thank you so much for everybody being here. Thank you so much. It is a Thursday night, y'all. Thursday night. I usually don't be on here Thursday night. So this is kind of like a pop-up live. This is kind of pop-up, kind of off of my schedule because I will not be here tomorrow. So I'm coming on here today because I won't be on here tomorrow. But truly appreciate everyone for being here. If you are new to my room, friend, let me know if you are new. Type in new in the chat. Let me know if you are new to my content, if you're new to my room. If you're not new and you're returning, let me know. I would truly appreciate it. But again, we're talking about, because usually I do a debt-free Friday where we just celebrate each other's debt, what you're paying off, what credit cards are you paying off, what debt are you working, what strategy are you working to pay off your debt. But tonight's going to be a little different. Thank you so much for joining, friend Uncle Bougie. Thank you so much for joining, friend. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. I am a budget coach. Tonight, we're going to be talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. So if you're new to my room, if you're new to my content, let me know and put new in the chat. Let me know. Thank you so much for everyone that is here tonight. I truly appreciate you. And again, this is not typically my usual schedule, guys. I usually am here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But again, I won't be here tomorrow. So that's why I'm coming today. Okay. So thank you so much for everyone being here. Truly appreciate it. So I have a question of the night. Romeo, thank you so much, friend, for joining. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. Truly appreciate you for being here. Kev, what's going on? My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. Tran, thank you so much, Tran. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. Tonight, we're going to be talking about breaking debt cycles. Dana, thank you, Kim. Thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly appreciate it. All the new people that are in my room. Can you put in new in the chat? Also, if you can tap out, if you can like the live. TC, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining. Tonight, we're going to be talking about, will your kids inherit debt or freedom? Sherry, thank you so much for joining. Fabulous. Thank you so much for joining, everybody that's joining the live. Truly appreciate you guys for being here tonight. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. If you can like the live, Sherry, good evening. Thank you so much for liking the live, friend. I truly appreciate you. If you are new to my room, let me know if you're new. Let me know where you're watching from. If you want to answer the question, thank you so much for the follow, friend. Truly appreciate it. Jojo, thank you so much for coming in the room. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. Thank you so much for the follow. So if you want to answer the question, will your kids inherit debt or freedom? Let me know in the chat. Will your kids inherit debt or freedom? We are talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. So tonight, usually not on what's today? Today's Thursday. So usually on Fridays we talk about it's debt-free Fridays, and we come on here, we celebrate each other, and we, anything that you're paying off debt, any strategies, that's what we usually talk about on Fridays. Silly, thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. We're talking about all things of breaking debt cycles tonight. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. So let me know if you guys could tap out the live. If you let me see, what's the name is giving me a flash goal. Let me see. If you guys is giving me a flash goal. I don't know why it's giving me. Cicely, thank you so much for joining, friend. Thank you so much for the follow. So again, guys, we are talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. Thank you so much for liking. If you could share out the live so it can be pushed out to other moms that need financial help. Maybe they need help with their budget. Maybe they need help with saving money, and maybe they need help with getting out of debt, but just with God in the center, because I believe that personal finances is 80% behavior, 20% knowledge, right? And we have so much information out here when it comes down to personal finances and all the things that you need to do, right? A lot of people know what to do, but they just don't know where to start. And the reason why I'm so passionate about like personal finances is, I talk about number one, it's one thing to know what to do with the finances, but it's like we have to give ourselves grace, especially as moms. Like, what about the times when your kids done stressed you out, you tired, and you want to swipe that credit card, or you want to eat out, or whatever the case may be? I feel like my brand and what I talk about is giving yourself grace when it comes to personal finance. Make sure that you're setting systems in place that's going to help you be better with your finances. So I feel like I have like a different spin on, most people. Thank you so much, Deborah, for entering the room, friend. I truly, truly appreciate it. So I feel like I have a different spin on when I think about personal finances, because sometimes it could be so rigid and people are just like, this is what you're supposed to do, this, that. And I feel like my brand is like giving moms grace, because I know how it is living check to check, living in debt, you're not able to save. I know how all of that is. Thank you so much, Rachel, for joining. Oh, Drina, thank you so much, friend, for being here. Oh, thank you, hey, friend. Thank you so much for being here. So we are talking about all things with God in the center. Is that my neighbor? I'm trying to think if this is my old neighbor. Gina, if you are my old neighbor, let me know. Let me know. I wonder if that's her. The name is exactly the same. Let me know. Let me know. Okay, so we are going to be talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. Okay, so the question of the night is, will your kids inherit debt or freedom? Let me know in the chat. Like, this is going to be a safe place where we talk about all things personal finances, okay, with God in the center. So will your kids inherit debt or freedom? What did they see growing up? What did you see growing up? Did you see your parents living check to check? Did you see your parents struggling with credit card debt? Is that like the normal thing that you seen when you were growing up? Let me know. Tonight, we're going to be talking about all of the things. I want this space to be safe and encouraging, no judgment, no shame. We're just women learning and growing together. I want to say this quick Bible verse, Proverbs 13:22. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Proverbs 13:22 says, a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. 7, thank you so much for being here. Abigator, thank you so much for being here. Triple A Trucking, thank you so much for being here. Truly, truly appreciate it. Will we leave an inheritance for our children's children? Notice that it does not say debt. It says an inheritance. Kim, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining. We are called to leave legacy for our children and not liabilities. Let me know in the chat if your kids are going to inherit debt or are they going to inherit freedom? Let me know in the chat. Let me know. Will your kids inherit debt, or will they inherit freedom? Shanita, thank you so much for being here, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. And in God's word, it says a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. We are supposed to be being good stewards of our money so we can leave an inheritance for our children. If you are trying to leave an inheritance for your children tonight, put it in the chat. Love it. Thank you so much for being here, friend. Thank you so much. Truly, truly appreciate it. All the people that are in the room, if you can tap out the live, if you can share it out, I would greatly appreciate it. If you grab the orange heart up top, hello, friend, how are you? If you can grab your daily heart points. Maria, thank you so much for joining, friend. If you can tap out the live, if you can share the live, it would greatly be appreciated. Tapping is like, tapping and getting your daily points. It's almost like when you come in the room for the live hosting, it's almost like letting me know, like, hey, I'm here. I feel like it's just like etiquette. When you come into somebody's room, if you kind of really like what they're saying and what they're about. Thank you so much for joining the fan club, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. To tap and get your engagement points, it not only helps me as the live creator, but it also helps you as the viewer. Now let's TikTok know that you are not a bot, and that you thank you so much for joining, friend. Shonda, thank you so much. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. So tonight we are talking is whether your kids will inherit debt or freedom, right? Like, what we're talking about, breaking generational, breaking debt cycles in the family. T, thank you so much for joining. Like, what cycles are we leaving or showing our children? Because in God's word, it says that we're supposed to be leaving an inheritance for our children's children. The funding queen, thank you so much for being here. Truly, truly appreciate it. So put in the chat if you are being prepared as a mom to leave your children an inheritance, right? Put that in the chat. Put inheritance in the chat if you are wanting to leave your children an inheritance and not debt. I am determined, you guys, as a mom, to not leave my kids any debt. I'm determined to pay off all of my debt, all of my consumer debt, and just really owe my mortgage. So it's just like I am truly determined to do it. And it's like we really have to break those generational cycles, right? We have to really look at the type of legacy that we want to leave our kids. Like, what are they seeing? Are they seeing a mom or parents that are stressed out all the time and worried about debt? Thank you so much, Adrian. Thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. We are talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. Linda, thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. If you can if you can like the live and share out the live, it would be greatly appreciated. And again, tonight we're talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. My question would be, what cycles are we showing our kids tonight? User, thank you so much for being here. What cycles are we showing them? Are we showing them that, like, car notes are normal, right? Because I feel like, I grew up and everybody had a car note. That was just like normal. Like, all of my family, everybody in the family had a car note. Are we showing our kids that, like, being in credit card debt, that's normal? Ladybug, thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate you for being here. What are we showing our kids? Are we showing our kids to live below our means? Are we showing them to stay away from consumer debt? What examples as parents are we modeling for our kids? Will our kids inherit debt or freedom? Will we show them that, living below your means, paying for things in cash, investing their money properly. What are we showing our kids? Because the way that we are modeling our money and the way that they see us handling our money, it will affect them in the long run. Like, how did you grow up? Did you grow up in, a financial tight house? Like, your parents may have thought that, thank you so much for being here, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. We are talking about breaking debt cycles tonight. Toya, thank you. Toria, thank you so much for being here, friend. Truly, truly appreciate you for being here. If you guys can grab your daily engagement points and if you can like the live, I truly, truly appreciate it. Tonight, again, we're talking about breaking debt cycles in the family. Will your kids inherit debt or freedom? What are some of the things that we are showing our kids? Or we're showing our kids that, having debt is the normal thing. Having car notes is just a normal thing. Are we showing them that, Cece, thank you so much for joining. Are we showing them that you can live below your means? What are the things that you've seen as a child growing up? Did you see? Thank you so much for the fan club. I truly, truly appreciate it. We are talking about breaking debt cycles in the family tonight. Tonight is Debt Free Thursday. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to my room, put new in the chat. Let me know. I think I have some new people in my room. If you are new here, let me know. And again, we're talking about breaking cycles of debt, right? What are we showing and what are we modeling for our children? Are we modeling that it's just normal to have a car note? Are we modeling to our kids that it's normal to have loads of credit card debt and to be stressed and to have a whole bunch of anxiety? What are we modeling for our kids? What did you see when you grew up? Did you see your parents stressed out about debt? Did you see your parents living off a credit card debt? We have to break those generational cycles, right? I'm definitely trying to educate my kids as much as I can, teaching them how now, to leverage credit cards the correct way, right? To make sure that they're living below their means, to make sure that they're saving their money. I grew up where car notes were just normal. Everybody had it. I don't think I really ever seen my parents like pay cash for a car. That's just like unknown. Like, I just grew up with, if you wanted a car, you got a car note. That was just something that I seen. Now, I didn't really see my parents really grow up too much on credit card debt, but I really seen, I feel like everybody was like, okay, when you get a car, you go to the car dealership and you get a car note. That's like kind of normal thing. Let me know in the chat, what have you seen as a child? Did you see your parents live off a credit card debt? Did you see your parents, was car notes normal? And again, this is going to be a safe place for us to talk about personal finances and give yourself grace. But we're talking about how we can break those generational cycles of debt, right? How can we be the next generations to show our children how to do things better? Crystal, thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. I'm talking about all things personal finances, but tonight, again, we're talking about breaking debt cycles. What debt cycles have you seen as a child? Put in the chat. Like, what have you seen that's like that you realized as an adult, oh, maybe I would do my finances a little bit differently? I know for me, I would say, again, I kind of grew up where my mom, they got car notes. Everybody got car notes. I never really seen anybody pay cash for a car. Gigi, thank you so much for being here. So one of the things that I had to learn, like as an adult, was, to teach my children, like, you can save up your money and pay for a car cash. You don't have to get a car note. But car notes were one of the things that I just always seen as, as a child growing up. What are some of the things that you've seen growing up? What are the debt cycles that you are determined to break? Let me know. Will your kids inherit freedom or will they inherit debt? You know, if God was to call you home today or tomorrow, would your kids be able to handle their finances in a way to, if they're old enough to take care of themselves? Or would they be struggling? Did you teach them financial literacy? These are all of the things that we need to be modeling for our kids. And it's okay, friend, if let's just say, you know what, I still have to get my personal finances together, right? Like if you're thinking that, like, you know what, I still have to get mine together. And it's okay to give yourself grace if you're still on your personal debt journey yourself as the mom, right? It's okay to still be on that journey, but we can educate our kids also. We can still educate our kids, as we're growing and we're learning financial literacy ourselves as an adult. Okay. So again, thank you so much for being here. Truly, truly appreciate it. So again, what debt cycles are we? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. So again, what debt cycles have we seen as a child that we want to break? What debt cycles are you trying to break that you don't want to transfer to your kids? Let me know. 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 One of the things, guys, that recognize, I feel like number one, we got to recognize the cycle, right? Recognize the cycle. Some of us grew up seeing debt as normal. Let me know in the chat if you grew up where debt was normal, right? Let me know if you grew up where debt was normal, like credit cards was normal, car payments was normal, and these were just part of life. Let me know. Student loans, that's a big one. I feel like I didn't really realize the impact of student loans until I became an adult. I did not realize it, y'all. Like if I know what I know now, I tell my kids now, listen, student loans is not an option for us. We are not doing it. I really wish, thank you so much, Shanita, for coming in, friend. Thank you so much for being here. We're talking about we're talking about breaking debt cycles tonight. And one of the first things I said was we have to recognize the cycle. Some of us grew up seeing debt as normal. Let me know in the chat if you grew up where debt was normal for your family, right? Let me know in the chat if it was just like, it's just kind of a way of a life for us. Like, yeah, we get a car note, we get student loans, we get credit cards. Those were some of the things that your parents modeled. Like that's what you were used to. Let me know if you grew up where debt was normal. Like this is just a way of life. I know for me as an adult, I never seen my mom, my parents pay cash for a car. Like I just grew up where car notes were the normal thing. Like everybody got a car note, and it's just like when you're able to drive and when you're able to get your own car, it was almost like, okay, well, I mean, car notes were just kind of some of the things that we thought about. Like that's what we seen. That's just what everybody was doing. All of my friends, all of my family. It just was like, that's just kind of what we do. We get car notes once you're able to get a job, or you're able to drive. Those were kind of like the normal things that I seen. What about credit cards, student loans? My mom had student loans. I have student loans. It's just like that was another thing that was normal in my family, like generational. This was just things that I was just used to seeing. Like you get out of high school and you go to college, and it was never a thing taught to me saying, well, could you afford college? It was more of like you get student loans to go get your degree. That's what it was taught. It was never taught to me saying, well, we should work and maybe we should go to a community college and avoid the student loans as much as possible. That was never taught to me. It was just like student loans was almost kind of like the way of being an adult, going to college, and that's just what it is. That's what we were taught. Let me know in the chat if there are any generational debt cycles that you've seen as a child. Was student loans normal for you in your house? Like, were you told that after you graduate from high school, you need to go to college, and if you couldn't afford college, that you know, the student loans would just be basically that's what you're going to do, get student loans, and basically you're going into debt at 18. And I never really realized the impact of signing those student loans, getting all of the the student loans. I remember, y'all, and let me know if you can relate to this. I remember getting student loans and getting the refund checks. Let me know in the chat if you got a student loan and you was hyped about them refund checks. Gina, thank you so much for entering the room. Let me know if you had student loans and you were hyped about the refund checks. Your girl used to get the student loans and get the refund checks and be spending it on stuff that was not related to my school, which I should have been doing, right? I should have been giving that money back to the government, right? Because you know how when you sign your student loans, they give you extra because your classes, and then you would get a refund check, like, yeah, I'm getting a refund check, yeah, I'm getting a refund check, can't wait to get it, and just be spending it. And me not knowing as a young 18, 19-year-old that the interest on my student loans are accruing every day. And that one day, even though it's not today, I'm going to eventually have to pay these student loans back. Like, if I really known, you guys, what I know now about student loans, like, I would have been sending those checks back. Okay? I would have been sending them back. But these are the things that we wasn't taught. We wasn't educated enough to say, listen, choose a cheaper school. Make sure you work when you're going to school. Avoid student loan debt as much as you can. These are the cycles that were just normal for me and my family, right? Like, student loan debt was just a normal thing for us. It's just like I wasn't taught any other options until I became older and really understood debt and understood interest rates and understood the student loans. Like, if I would have known, y'all, I always say, man, if I would have really known, let me know in the chat, what generational cycles are you trying to break tonight? What cycles are you trying to break tonight? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. I think the one thing, again, that we have to recognize is we have to recognize the cycle that we're in, recognize the pattern, and it's the first step to breaking it by recognizing what pattern we're on, right? Tracy, thank you so much for being here, friend. I truly, truly appreciate it. We are talking about breaking debt cycles tonight. We are talking about breaking debt cycles. Will your kids inherit debt or will they inherit freedom? We're talking about these cycles that you may have seen as a child. What debt cycles have you seen that was kind of the normal thing for your family? Was it the credit card debt? Was it the car payment? Was it the student loans? Let me know. Let me know what debt cycles. And again, recognizing the cycles is key. That's key. Drop a 1 in the chat if debt was normal for your family. Drop a 1 in the chat if debt was just kind of normal. Drop a 2 if nobody ever really talked about money. Let me know. If you know what, like, nobody never really talked about money. Some people grew up and their family never talked about money. They never talked about finances. So they had to kind of like learn as an adult. Let me know. And again, it's so important for us to recognize the cycle. By recognizing the pattern is the first step to breaking it. The second point would be shifting the family culture. How can we shift our family culture? I know for me, again, my family culture was like when you are able to get a car, everybody got a car note. Nobody paid cash for a car. I really can think about any example that I've seen where they pay cash for a car. I can't even think about any time that like my parents paid any. Tracy, thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. We're talking about, thank you so much for entering the room, friend. I see you guys entering. Sadie, thank you so much for entering. We are talking about breaking debt cycles tonight. The first thing I said was we have to recognize the cycle. Let me know if debt was normal in your family. Let me know. Alexis, thank you so much for joining, friend. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. We are talking about breaking debt cycles tonight. Let me know if debt was normalized in your family. Put a 1 in the chat if debt was normalized in your family. Put 2 in the chat if nobody ever talked about money in your family. Did you grow up in a family where nobody really talked about money? I feel like for my family, guys, like my mom talked about it. She taught us how to save. She taught us how to tithe. But she also said that when we get out of school, we need to, go to school, and student loans were kind of like a thing. Like that's just kind of what you do. You go to college and you have to get student loans. Like that kind of was just like the normal thing for us. Like, yeah, you're just going to go into debt. And that was one of the cycles that I seen. Another cycle was everybody in my family had car notes. That was kind of like the normal thing for us. Like, yeah, everybody got a car note. I don't even think I could remember a time where like we didn't, like I seen somebody like really pay cash for a car. I didn't really learn those concepts until I was an adult. So let me know if you grew up in a household where debt was normal. And it's okay if you did. This is a safe space for us to talk about personal finances. And I think the biggest thing that we have to remember is educating ourselves around our personal finances and how can we be 1% better, right? I'm not expecting nobody to be, just all of a sudden just be transformed because, of your finances. There are generational cycles that you have to break. And sometimes it's deeper than that. But it's like if you can try to be 1% better than you were, right? What debt cycles do not want to pass down to your kids? Right? Is there any debt cycles where you're like, I am determined to, live below my means to really educate my children with the personal finances? Thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. Let me know in the chat. And again, guys, the first thing that we have to do is recognize the cycle. We got to recognize it first before we can break it, right? Like we have to realize, well, how did I grow up? What was my family life around money? Like what did my parents teach me about money? What are some of the good lessons that they taught me around money? What are some of the lessons that you're like, I probably would do things a little bit differently, right? Put it in the chat and let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know on this Thursday evening. And again, we have to recognize the cycle. We have to shift the family culture. Debt does not have to be the family tradition. Listen to me and listen to me good. Debt does not have to be the family tradition. I am determined, guys, to educate my sons on like student loans is just not an option for us over here. If you want to go to school, Number one, we're going to look for a cheaper school for you to go to. And maybe you have to work part-time and I can help you with the classes. But going into student loan debt is not an option for us. I'm not doing it. That's one of the cycles that I am determined to break with my sons. Like student loans, if I would have known what I know now, I really wish that I would have known all of the information I knew about student loans. So what are some of the cycles that you are trying? Thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate you. What are some of the family cultures that you want to shift? What new traditions do you want to create for your family that you may have not seen as as a child growing up, right? What are some of the new things that you want to show your kids? What are some of the ways that you want to show them about money? Thank you so much for being here, friend. Truly appreciate you. Truly, truly appreciate you. So starting new traditions, I know for me, one of the new traditions that I'm showing my sons is, having cash, really starting to have, to make sure that they have cash. Because see, when you have cash, Doris, thank you so much for being here, friend. Truly, truly appreciate you. So what family cultures are we starting, right? One of the things that I'm teaching my sons is to save their money. That's one of the big things that I am teaching them at 18 and 20. How can you save your money? Thank you so much for joining, friend. What is it? Your digital Noor? Thank you so much for joining. So how can we teach our kids some new traditions around savings, right? And budgeting and giving? I am teaching my sons right now that giving is very, very important. You have to give, you have to tithe, I'm teaching them about investments, investing their money so they can be. Liz, thank you so much for joining, friend. Doris, thank you so much for coming back, friend. If you are new to my room, put new in the chat. Joy, thank you so much for coming in, friend. Truly, truly appreciate it. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. And tonight we are talking about breaking debt cycles. We want to break the debt cycles. Will your kids inherit debt or will they inherit freedom? Let me know in the chat. Will your kids inherit debt or will they inherit freedom? How are we being examples for our kids? How are we modeling financial literacy for them? How are we showing them that, right? Are we living below our means? Are we living on credit cards? Are we living on the student loans and the car loans? Like, how can we model? Phyllis, thank you so much for joining. Glennis, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, friend. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. And again, tonight we're talking about breaking debt cycles tonight. We want to break debt cycles, okay? And again, shifting the family culture, guys. We want to show our kids what financial discipline looks like. Are you showing your kids what financial discipline is? Knives are us. Thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly appreciate it. If you can make sure that you enter the room, if you can like the live, if you can share it out, it would be greatly appreciated. It not only helps me as the live host, but it also helps you as the viewer, and you can get your daily engagement points, and it lets TikTok know that you are an engaged viewer and that you're just you're just not consuming the contents, but you're also engaging in the live. It also helps me as the live host, and it would be greatly appreciated. Jose, thank you so much. Oh, Jose, sorry, Jose, thank you so much for joining, friend. Truly, truly appreciate you for being here. So, again, we are talking about breaking debt cycles. What cycles of debt are you trying to break? Right? Did you grow up in a household where debt was normal? Let me know. Did you grow up where everybody just had credit cards, or everybody had student loans, or everybody had car notes? I grew up where car notes was just a normal thing. Everybody in my family had a car note. Nobody paid cash for a car. I also grew up where we were told not only to, graduate from high school, but go to college. I was, like, student loans were just a part of the process of going to college. This is kind of what I was told. And I say, oh, if anybody know, they know. I used to get those little refund checks from my from student loans, and I used to be spending that money like, oh yeah, I got some money, knowing that I gotta pay those student loans back, right? Like, were you hyped to get those refund checks for student loans? Because as an adult now, I wish that I could send those refund checks back. JC and Lisa, thank you so much for joining. Like, I just really wish I was educated more, but student loans in my family was just kind of a thing. Like, everybody has student loans, and it was like it was a way to go to college, and we wasn't taught anything different. That's just kind of really what we were taught. So let me know. Another thing is build a new legacy. We need to build a new legacy when it comes to our personal finances. And legacy is not just about money, it's about mindset. Teaching your kids that God is their source, and that discipline matters, and that financial freedom is possible. We need to teach our kids that legacy is not just about money, that God is our source, and that discipline matters. Living below our means matters, and that financial freedom is possible. That is priceless. I really want to educate. T Lover, thank you so much for entering, friend. We are talking about breaking debt cycles tonight, and we're talking about building legacy. Building legacy for our children's children. What legacy are you trying to build tonight? And legacy doesn't just always mean money, but it also means mindset. What are we showing our kids? Are we showing our kids that debt is normal? That's what we're showing them. Like, car notes are normal. Are we showing them a different way of life, that to live below your means? ID, thank you so much for joining. What examples are you showing your kids, right? What legacy do we want to leave them? I want my sons to be financially literate. I am educating them now on living below their means, budgeting their money, saving their money. What can we model as parents, as moms? Because we want to build legacy for our kids. We want to teach them how to invest. We want to teach them how to save. And one thing that we do in order to teach them that is to model it ourselves, right? Because they say that kids, what is they see us. Like, we can teach them things verbally, but they watch what we do, right? They watch us, and they can see us being stressed out about car notes. They watch us, and they may see us being stressed out about credit cards. What type of environment do we want to show our kids? Stress and anxiety? Or do we want to show them peace? Do we want to show them, the things that you truly want, you may have to save for it? Do we want to show them delayed gratification? Because we live in a world where it's just like right now, today, everything today, we have to get it now. Matter of fact, we should have had it yesterday. What type of legacy should we be building for our kids? I want to teach my sons to have options, right? That to not let debt rule their decisions. Have you ever been in a job where, you stayed at the job longer than you wanted to because you had to pay off some debt? Let me know in the chat. You ever been you ever made a decision financially that you're like, dag, I wish I could take it back. I know for me, I remember I got a car note so high and I was like, dag, I wish I could take this car note back. You ever have buyer's remorse, y'all? Let me know in the chat if this is resonating with someone. You ever have buyer's remorse where you're like, dang, man, I shouldn't have really got that. These are all the things that our kids are seeing, right? Are they're seeing us that credit cards are normal, student loans are normal. You know, getting things right now and not saving for it is normal. But we still have time to shift the family culture when it comes to that, right? We still have time to build new legacy for our kids, to teaching them that God is the source and that discipline matters and financial freedom is possible for them. So let me know in the chat some of the things that you may be working on. What type of environment do you want to have with your kids, right? Let's say you don't have kids. Let's say you're like, you know what? Sorry, y'all. Let's say you don't have kids. Maybe it's just a financial freedom life that you want to have for yourself. Maybe you want to get better with your finances, and that's okay. Sorry, y'all. Let me know in the chat, what are some generational cycles that you want to stop the cycle, that you want to say, you know what, for my legacy and for my kids, we're going to break that cycle. What cycles do we want to break? Right? We still have time to build legacy. We still have time to shift the family culture. We still have time for it, y'all. We still have time. Let me know in the chat. Let me know. And again, we are really talking about how we can break these debt cycles. Will your kids inherit debt or freedom? What would they inherit if God called you home today or tomorrow? Would they be stressed about the money, or would they know how to handle it, right? If they're old enough, will they know how to handle the debt? Let me know. Oh, let me see. Oh, you can move that around. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know in the chat, guys. I know you can move this around. Let me know. Let me know. Will your kids inherit debt or freedom tonight? Let me know. So again, it is so important, guys, for us to break these debt cycles in the family. It's just so important to recognize the cycle, to shift the family culture, and to build a new legacy. Let me know. Let me know. Breaking debt cycles means that we have to take action. We have to start to budget our money. We have to save our money. We have to live below our means. Thank you so much, Chris, for entering the room, friend. Thank you so much for being here. We are talking about breaking debt cycles tonight. What debt cycles are you trying to break tonight? Let me know. Lovely. Thank you so much for being here. We are talking about breaking debt cycles tonight. Truly, truly appreciate you for being here. Oh, hey, friend. Hey, friend. Thank you so much for entering the room. Hey, friend. Hey. Thank you so much for the roses, friend. Truly, truly appreciate you. Truly, truly appreciate you. You finally caught my live, right? You finally caught it. You finally caught my live. Thank you so much for being here. Truly, truly appreciate you. Truly, truly appreciate you. We are talking about breaking debt cycles tonight in the family. Yes, finally. It's okay, friend. Like, it's okay. Listen, I know how it is. Being a mom, being a single mom, your life is busy, everything. Truly, I be trying to be in everybody live and pop in there. So truly, I don't take it personal at all. If you came, you came. If you didn't, you didn't. It's just like I get it, especially as a mom, that you're being pulled in so many different ways. So trust me, I get it. And I thank you so much for joining the fan club. I truly, truly appreciate you. So trust me, I get it, friend. No pressure over here. No pressure over here. I feel like God is going to bring people in my room that needs to hear it. And whenever it's, time. Yes. Thank you so much for understanding. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like my support is truly when I go into people's room and feeling their energy and knowing like it comes from a genuine place for me. And I told you, friend, like, I'm going to show you a picture of my cousin. I'm going to show you her because the way you have your hair pulled back, she has her hair the exact same way. I'm going to send you a picture of her. And I will let you know because I'm telling you, I went in your live and I thought it was her. I was like, oh my God, what's my cousin doing here? And she wears her hair the same exact way, like pulled back, and you just remind me of her so much. So that's so funny. But we are talking about, please do. I gotta see about yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Big Exclusive, for coming in the building, friend. What is going on? What's going on? What's going on? Thank you so much for being here, always supporting the live. Yes, yes, yeah. I'm gonna send you a picture for sure. But we are talking about breaking debt cycles tonight. And the question of the night is, will your kids inherit debt or will they inherit freedom? Right? Will they inherit debt or will they inherit? Thank you so much for the roses. Thank you so much. Truly, truly appreciate you, friend. We are talking about breaking those debt cycles. And one of the things that I had asked and I was talking about is, what are the generational cycles of debt that you've seen growing up? Like, what are the things that almost was like normal for you in your family? Like, I know I seen like car notes were like normal for my family. Everybody and their mother had a car note. Like, that just kind of was a normal thing. Everybody just had a car note. Also, one of the things that kind of was normal for us is like the credit card debt. Okay, credit card. So you seen that growing up, did your parents live off of credit cards? you know Let me know, like, you just seen them like swipe the credit cards and that was normal? And I know for me, like, again, the car note debt was one, but student loans, like, I was taught and told, like, after you graduate from high school, then, you go to college, and student loans were just a part of it. Like, that's just how you go to college. Everybody has student loans, and that's just kind of what's normal. Everybody and their mother has student loans. And I just really wasn't taught really another way. Definitely student loans, like, oh, you're able to, like, oh, you're able to pay it off. Exactly, right? I was taught the exact same thing, like, oh, you want to pay it off later. But what nobody really tells us or educates us and say is like, those student loans are accruing interest, right? And that, let's say you took out 20,000, and by the time you wait a couple years, that 20,000 could easily turn into 30 or 40, because it's constantly accruing interest. Nobody said that. Let me know in the chat if I'm the only one that was hyped about those student loan paychecks. I was hyped. Your girl was like, oh, I'm getting some extra money from my student loans. Like, what? If I would have known what I know now, y'all, I would have been giving those checks back to credit cards for traveling, but not using them right away. Oh, okay. So credit cards for traveling. Oh, okay. Yes, a lot of people. Yes, send me the refund check. Yes, 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 yes. And I was like hype, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this with my little refund check. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. What? And like that ain't really your money. What you mean you gotta pay it back? Like what? I was so hype, y'all. Like, yes, send me the refund checks. Yes, 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 yes. And it was like, these are like, cycles of debt that we just thought was so normal. Like I could say that I never seen anybody in my family pay cash for a car. It was always like you go down to the dealership and you get a car note. Like that just kind of was like the normal thing. That's just kind of what you did. And it's just like we kind of really wasn't taught anything different. But it's like I want us to recognize that, one of the verses that it says in the Bible, Proverbs 13:22, a good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. How can we leave an inheritance for our children's children? One of the things, agreed, still see that to this day. Yes, I know. I know. I know. It's just like as adults, it's like car notes are normal. That's just kind of like what it is. And it's like you are weird if you don't have a car note. They like, what, you don't got a car note? Like, what, you driving a beater or you driving an older car? You don't have a car note? Like something wrong with you? You look that crazy. Like, no, I'm just trying to build wealth over here. I'm trying to invest that money that I would be giving to the car note people. I'm trying to have my money grow for me long term, right? Like it's so normalized. It is. They say the average car note is like $600. Average car note in America is like $600 average. Now, again, there may be some notes that are higher or maybe lower, but we talking about average across the board. This is what they say, that the average car note. And it's just like, these are kind of just like debt cycles that we kind of grew up with, right? Like it's just kind of the norm. Now, some people and their family, thank you so much for joining, Miss Rosa. Thank you so much. Oh, Miss Rosa, hey, friend. Thank you so much for joining. Truly, truly appreciate you. Love your lives and your walking. I'm getting it together, friend. I am getting it together. Truly, truly appreciate you for being here. But yes, that's wild. I've heard 900, yep, and 1800 for a Range Rover that people paying. Yes, thank you so much for joining the fan club, Miss Rosa. Truly, truly appreciate you. Yes, them Range Rovers. I remember people like, yeah, I'm getting me a Range Rover and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Kind of was like the normal thing. Like I never heard of anybody saying, I'm going to save up and get a car. Like, I'm going to save my money and get a car. People look at you crazy, like, what? You could just get a car. No, what are you talking about? Like, but again, we are just, we're normalizing the debt, right? Like, we're normalizing it. But what they don't really tell us and educate us, so how much stress and anxiety that brings. You ever been at a job? Hey, girl, thank you. Hey, the Heart MP. Hey, thank you so much for being here, friend. Have a great evening. I will hang out for a bit and then go to bed. Okay, I understand, friend. Thank you so much. Hey, MP. I loved your live as well. I do know about the CPR. Thank you so much for the populars, Miss Rose. I truly, truly appreciate it. I do know about the CPR, but I thought your class was very, very, very good. Very, very, very good. But Tracy, thank you so much for joining. Truly, truly appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you so much for sharing out the live. Thank you so much for the populars. Truly, truly appreciate it. We are talking about breaking debt cycles. Thank you for the support. Absolutely. I know how it is getting on this live. You know, you see people going in and out of chat. You're trying to have people engage. You're trying to see what they're saying in the comments. You know, it's just like, give yourself grace. It takes time to get it. It really takes time for people to really start to come in your room and engagement. So friend, if I could say anything, give yourself grace. But I absolutely loved your live, especially learning about the CPR for the kids, like showing the heart. I think that was really, really good. And thank you so much for sharing it out. So we're talking again tonight about breaking the debt cycles, right? Like, what debt cycles have you seen growing up as a child? Was credit card debt? Thanks a million. You're welcome. Was credit card debt something normal that you've seen? Was car notes something normal that you've seen growing up as a child? Was student loans something normal that you've seen growing up as a child? Thank you so much, Biggest Sister, for the roses. Thank you so much. Like, what are the things, that we seen as, as children, that we want to break those cycles? I would say for me and my sons, I told them, thank you so much for joining the fan club. I truly, truly appreciate it. One of the things that I've been telling my sons is student loan debt is not an option for us. I told them, listen, if y'all want to go do a trade, we're going to go to a community college and y'all can work. And, I'm going to help you go to school. But thank you so much for sharing out the live, friend. Thank you. Thank you so much. But it's like student loan debt is not an option. I tell them, I'm saying, listen, you need to look at your mom. You don't want to be in student loan debts, right? So we need to figure out other ways, scholarships or working part-time so you can, go into the trade. But like, what are the cycles that we are trying to break? What are the things that we are trying to educate you? What are the things that we are trying to educate our children? Right? What are the cycles that you want to show them? I feel like, debt, not only that they don't tell people, like, it brings a lot of stress and anxiety. You ever been at a job, a toxic job that you don't want to be at, but you have to be there because you have to pay off debt. You have to pay off these credit card loans. Debt like limits you. It limits you so much in a way. I tell my sons now that, you want to live below your means and not get into debt, because you can really pick jobs that you want, right? That you don't have to worry about a car note. You don't have to be stressed about credit card bills. These are the things that we want to educate our kids. So put a 1 in the chat if debt was normal in your family. Sorry, y'all, my mom's calling me. Put a 2 in the chat if no one ever really talked about money in your family. So 1, oh my God, she just I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I don't know why my mom's calling me back to back. So put a 1 in the chat if debt was normal in your family. Put a 2 in the chat if nobody ever really talked about money in your household. So a one that debt was normal. Okay. 1 and 2. Oh, okay. Then nobody really talked about debt. Okay. 1 and 2. Okay. 1 and 2. Oh, okay. 1 and 2, both, that debt was normal and nobody really talked about it. Okay. So one of the things that is so important is for us to shift the family culture, that debt does not have to be the family tradition. Like, we can start new traditions around saving, budgeting for our children, right? So what new traditions? It was just, you gotta get to work, get the money, and it ain't enough of it. Yes, so basically, like the hustle culture, basically. I was taught that same way. Like, listen, you got to get a job. This is what you need to do. Go out there and get it. But it's like, what also we wasn't taught, E-Nurse, thank you so much for joining, friend. Thank you so much for being here. Exactly. The hustle culture. Yes, 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 yes. It's just like, listen, you got the grind, you got the grind. But it's like, if you don't really have any debt, right? And you live below your means, you don't have to grind as hard. You do not have to do that, right? It's a different. Thank you so much for joining the friend club. It's a different type of life when debt does not control you, right? And it's like the same exact thing that I want to be teaching my sons, that we should be teaching our kids. What type of, like, to build legacy? That legacy isn't just about money, but it's mindset. Teaching our kids that God is their source and that discipline matters. I feel like we live in a culture. Hello, E-Nurse. Thank you so much for being here. We live in a culture where we got to have it tomorrow, y'all. Like instant gratification. We got to have that car tomorrow. We we got to go to school, and we got to go to the top school in our state and be paying so much for student loans. Like we have to have it right now. Like that's the culture. Were you guys taught, like, delayed gratification? I feel like I'm teaching my sons this now. Like, listen, you can save up for the things that you want. You can, go to a cheaper school. Don't get a car note. Save up for the car. Let's stay away from the credit cards right now. I'm not really like, opposed to credit cards, but I feel like you have to build that discipline to know how to use the credit cards correctly. So and they keeping up with the Joneses mentality. Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely have fell victim to it, y'all. I'm going to tell you. Let me tell you how your girl, I bought now don't you look, this is gonna be a safe space, y'all, right? For when we talk about personal finances with God in the center. Tell me why I bought a $4,000 Louis bag, y'all. Yes, I did. I bought a $4,000 Louis bag. Safe space. Yes, 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 yes. Don't touch me here, y'all. Like, I bought a $4,000 Louis bag. Thought I was like, yikes. Yes, yes, yo. Listen, your girl, I'm gonna be honest. Listen, because the things I'm teaching, I'm gonna be really honest on here. I'm not gonna echo on you like, oh, I didn't had it all together. This and that. Your girl bought a $4,000 Louis bag, right? And all my nurses in the building or people that's in healthcare, I was working at the hospital. The Louis bag sat in my closet for weeks and months because I wouldn't bring the bag to the hospital because somebody could easily steal it. And I was in scrubs all day. All day. I didn't really I was just thinking why did I buy the bag? Like I love Louis, right? Don't get me wrong, but did I have to have a $4,000 one? Like, no, keeping up with the Joneses. I was just like, yeah, and guess what your girl did? Your girl sold the bag. Okay. I'm like, yeah, this is just $4,000 just sitting there. Keeping up with the Joneses, feeling like we need to get that newest car. We need to have the flyest bags, and at the time when I did that, y'all, $4,000 on Louis, but didn't have a lick of savings, right? Was not investing any of my money. Right. So it's no judgment here, but it's just like real life things that we're just so in this culture where we have to keep up. And these are the things that come with it. The car notes, the flashy stuff. But behind closed doors, you live in check to check. Behind closed doors, you don't have no savings. Behind closed doors, you barely surviving. We want to get out of that cycle, right? We want to get out of that cycle, break those debt cycles. And really educate ourselves to be better with our finances. This is one of the things that I'm teaching my sons. Like, listen, you don't got to have the fancy stuff right now. Yes, you can build up to it. Yes, let's break the cycle. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the legacy that us as moms can be teaching our children so they can teach their children and they can educate themselves, for financial freedom, right? These are the things, like I'm teaching my sons now to invest their money. I told them, I have a son that's 18 and one that's 20. And I said, listen, if you guys invest your money from 18, I think it's like 40 or maybe 50, you'll have over $1 million in that account from just compound interest and investing it in an S&P 500, putting it in some just conservative stocks. These are the things. Good afternoon. Yes, yes, yes. Very good information. Thank you so much, E-Nurse. These are the things that we wasn't taught as like adults. Instead of it being the hustle culture, instead of it being where, we got to have the newest things. There's nothing wrong with having those things, but I feel like in due time and do it strategically. Make sure you invest your money, and then the compound interest that your money is gaining in that account, in your investment accounts, then that's what you may treat yourself and buy you a bag or do the things that you really like. But it's like we have to start small. We have to educate our children, and we have to be that example for them, right? I know that when I was stressed and car notes, the tension in your house is just different. You snappy, you snappy to everybody. You just stressed about money, the anxiety that it brings, right? We see all the glitz and glam about all of the things, but it's just like it doesn't talk about the stress and anxiety that it brings to the household. And I feel like as single moms, we already have enough stress on us already, right? We don't need to be adding to it. We don't need to be adding to it if we can, right? So, breaking these debt cycles, doing things that is out of the norm. I'm team no car note. Let me know in the chat if you guys are team no car note. Don't need another thing. Exactly. Let me know who is team no car note. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 if you have a car note. Put a 2 if you don't. Team no car note. Right. So put a 1 if you two. Wait. So did I say 2 for no car note? I think I said 2 for no car note, y'all. Did I say 2 for no car note? Put in the chat if I said, I think I said 2 for no car note, because I didn't forgot that quickly and I done said it, y'all. I think I said 2 for no car note. So because I see all of these 2s. 2 for no. Oh, okay. Oh, so everybody don't got a car note. Go ahead now. 1 E-Nurse is okay. 2 for no car note. That's what I thought, y'all. Look, I just said it so fast. I don't even know what I said. So all of you guys do not have car notes. That is something to be celebrated. Yes, I do. It's okay. It's okay, eaters. It's okay. It is okay. This is a safe space. Yes. But we want to congratulate all you guys that do not have a car note. Yes. Listen, I am team no car note. Now, listen, your girl had plenty of car notes, plenty of time. But I just think about the amount of money that I have, gotten a raise working on to free myself. Okay, listen. The biggest thing, best feeling, yes. The biggest thing, E-Nurses, you are working on a plan to pay off the car note, right? Like, again, it's no judgment here, but it's like, as long as we have a plan in place to eliminate the car note, to eliminate your debt. Listen, I have 6 figures of student loan debt, okay? You heard me. Your girl got 6 figures of student loan debt, okay, that I am determined to pay off. Student loan is just another animal that is just like same. Listen, I know some of my girlfriends, they don't even want to look at their student loans. People just, my mom said the student loans gonna go to her grave. I'm like, bah. Like, some people just feel like they're not paying it off. And again, I get it. People have their opinion about student loans, but I don't want to owe anybody. Okay. I am on a plan. I paid off because, most people know that, student loans, they have it all broken down to little loans, and your girl paid off 3 student loans so far, 2 credit card payments. Every extra cent and dime that I get, I am paying these student loans off because your girl ain't trying to owe nobody but my mortgage. And eventually I ain't trying to owe my mortgage either. So listen, we all are in this financial cycle. We all trying to pay off something. It may not be a car note, but it's student loans, or it may not be student loans, that may be, a personal loan, and maybe those afterpay payments. Y'all, let me tell you how some of these afterpay payments got people in the choke hold. If you have to afterpay your groceries, sis, come talk to me. It's no judgment or nothing, but we have Afterpay for everything, y'all. Have y'all seen it? Everything that you can buy, it's an option for Klarna. It's an option for the making in 4 payments. No, it should be there. Okay, if you can't afford it to pay it out cash, we shouldn't be buying it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on nobody's toes. But these payment plans where you think, oh, you know what? I can afford the payment plan. I could just buy this and I'm just paying $20. I'm just paying this off in 3-4 months. What they don't tell you is the interest and fees that are on those afterpays. They don't tell you that, right? Because I'm telling you, it's interest and fees on all of that. And then you get in this cycle where you have one afterpay or one payment, then you have 2, then you have 3, then you have 4, and it goes on and on and on. And then we're just in this total debt cycle, right? So it's like, when we are purchasing things, if we cannot pay it in full or in cash, we should not buy it. Your girl don't mean to step on anybody's toes or no judgment. But if you have to use Afterpay or Klarna, have a good night. All right, you too, e-nurse. If you have to use Afterpay or Klarna, don't get it. Yes, yes. But you guys, we live in a culture where no, like if I can afford the payments, then I can afford it. That's the mentality that most of us have. If I can afford the payments, then I can afford it. Not that if I can afford the whole entire, purchase, then I can afford it. It's more of like, if I can afford the payments, then I can afford it. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. But it's all about our mindset and how we are trying. Nope, I need to sleep. Nope, I need to sleep in my bed. Yes, yes, yes. And it's just like, again, so many things when it comes down to personal finances, when it comes down to debt, that just brings so much stress and anxiety, right? That it's just like life be already lifing already for most of us. We are maybe going through so many things right now. And to add on finances is just truly, truly stressful, and we don't want to add that, especially as moms, as parents. If we can avoid it as much as possible, we need to be breaking those cycles of debt. We need to be educating ourselves, not only ourselves, but our kids, showing them that it's other options. There are other ways to go to school. There are other ways to save your money. There are other ways to budget, right? Like car notes doesn't have to be normal for us. Student loan debt does not have to be normal. And I'm going to show you a different way. One of the, let me see, what is the scripture that I wanted to say, you guys? That we have to really be building legacy. And let me see. I really, one of the another things too, that I'm just really like teaching my kids is just to really just giving them options when it comes down, like, and I guess we can answer this question: will your kids inherit debt or freedom? Put it in the chat. Will they inherit debt or will they inherit freedom? Let me know. I'm determined that if God called me home today or tomorrow, good night. We'll catch you tomorrow. Freedom. Yes, 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 yes. Freedom. Yes, yes, yes. I'm determined to pay off all of my consumer debt. So my kids will be inheriting freedom. Okay, not the debt. The goal is freedom. Yes, those words are truly, truly important. The goal is freedom, right? Because it's like, if it's okay if we have debt right now, but the goal is to be teaching them how to live below your means, how to make sure that you are taking care of your finances, budgeting, saving, giving. I always tell people that you should be doing everyone should be doing 3 things with their money. They should be saving, they should be giving. Give, save, spend. I'm sorry, I said it in the wrong order. That you should be giving. You should be giving. If you are a believer, giving your tithes. If you are not a believer and you give to charities or some 3 things that everybody should be doing with their money: giving in some type of way, saving. You should be saving your money. You should have an emergency fund. You should have a buffer in your checking account, and then spending wisely. Are we budgeting our money? Are we sitting up there spending our money wisely? And then showing our children that, right? Modeling that for them, showing them. I told my sons right now that we're having a budget meeting every 2 weeks. Giving, saving, spending wisely. Yep, 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 yep. And in that order, my kids started investing before they could walk. Now they are pros, all under 25. Yes, I love that, friend. I'm pinning this. Yes, they started investing before. That is so great. That's so great. And that's what I'm trying to teach my sons now. They're 18 and 20. And even my 15-year-old. My 15-year-old can't save a look, y'all. Every time he get a little, but I give him a grace because he's 15. But the other ones, oh, bi-weekly budget meeting. I need to do this with me. Yes, especially my 18-year-old and my 20-year-old. I literally told my 20-year-old, I said, listen, he got this little, a mama boys, y'all know the kids be on these games. I said, listen, we're going to build a Fortnite budget. Okay. We're going to budget for this little game. And I said, $50. I told him, I said, $50 going to be your budget. He like, oh, mom, $50, yo, that's cool. I asked him the other day, I said, how much you spend on Fortnite? He was like, mom, I said, let's just look at it really quick. Let's just look at how much he spent $100. Now, this is my 20-year-old. That's, they work, they save. And it's just like $20. And I said to him, I'm like, it's so easy to go over budget if you're not watching your expenses. And especially I feel like my 18 is a little bit more better with his money, but my 20, he will get his check, and by the next week be asking me like, mom, can I borrow $40 till the next time I get paid? I'm like, what did you do with your money? What did you do with your money? What? He ain't even noticed. I know. He didn't even notice it. Exactly. I did 20 for games. Exactly. Now, here's the thing, right, y'all? They work, so it's their money, right? But I was just telling them that, like, I was telling, especially my 20-year-old, I said $50 for the game. Like, that's enough. And he's just like, mom, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to spend over 50. Like, I mean, yeah. And then we actually looked at it today. I said, listen, in the banking app, one of the easier ways to do it, I said, you can type in Fortnite and all of your expenses for Fortnite is going to come up. Look at it. And he just was like, $20 here, $40. I'm like, oh, and I thought you said the budget was 50. He was like, oh, mom, I'm headed to bed. So glad I caught your live. I'll definitely be back. Thank you so much for being here. Yes. I'm actually getting off in a little bit. I know it's late on the East Coast. It's late over here. But truly appreciate everyone for being here tonight. But yes, I told my sons, y'all, like, listen, to get on a budget, that we are having a budget meeting every 2 weeks to get your finances together. And again, I'm giving them, grace. They're learning their money. They're learning, trying to how to navigate things. And it's just like, it's so important to just really educate them, right? Thank you so much, Miss Kia, for entering the room. Thank you so much for being here. It's so important for us to just educate our kids, to walk alongside them, to let them know, okay, budget your money, make sure that you save. Good night. Catch you next time. What state are you in? I am in Philly. I am on the East Coast, Philly. So it's late here too. But I work all day. So it's just like, this is kind of really the only time that I can get on live. So I truly appreciate that when people come in my live, it's late for them too, if they're on the East Coast. So truly appreciate you for being here, friend. Thank you so much for engaging. And I hope that you enjoyed my live, but truly appreciate it. I am actually going to get off of here pretty soon. But just all the new people that may have joined, we were talking about breaking debt cycles, how we can break debt cycles in the family. I'm in Maryland. I need to see some patients tomorrow. Oh, okay. I know the MP, my girlfriend's an MP. So I truly appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much for being an MP. I know how hard it is. I see it. You guys work hard. And I just wanted to know that, just to let you know that we truly appreciate great MPs. I worked around them for years and years, and we need good ones. So thank you so much. But yes, we were just talking about breaking debt cycles in our family. right? Breaking debt cycles in our family. Thank you so much, Miss Kia, for being here. Truly, truly appreciate you, friend. My name is Janine. I talk about all things personal finances with God in the center. And we are talking about breaking debt cycles in our family tonight. You know, one of the questions was, will your kids inherit debt or will they inherit freedom? And a couple of the things that I talked about tonight is recognizing the cycle of debt, right? Recognize some of us had grew up where debt was normal. Like that just kind of was the normal thing, you know? So recognizing the cycle. Two, shifting the family culture. Debt does not have to be the family tradition. And we can start new traditions with our kids, with our family, living below our means. Starting to save, starting to budget. We can start new culture with our family. And three, building a new legacy. We can build a new legacy around not just our money, but our mindset, teaching our kids that God is their source and that discipline matters and that financial freedom is possible. Okay. So truly, truly appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you so much for watching the live and being on the live. People that are on the replay on the YT, thank you so much for being here. I am going to say this short prayer in reference to our finances, and I'm going to close it out. Lord, tonight I lift up every woman in this room or every woman that is watching on the replay. Thank you for giving her strength to break cycles, oh God. Thank you to break cycles that have been in her family for generations. Replace fear with faith, lack with provision, and bondage with freedom. Cover her children and her children's children with wisdom and abundance. We declare tonight, oh God, the cycle ends here. In Jesus' name we pray all of these things. Amen. I truly appreciate everyone for being here on our debt-free Thursday, that we are breaking generational cycles. If anybody is new to my content, I have several free resources in my bio. Go check your girl out. Also, if you ever need one-on-one coaching, I also do one-on-one coaching. I am a financial coach that specializes in budgets, helping moms budget, save money, and get out of debt. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit your girl up. I truly appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you so much for supporting the live, liking the live. Truly, truly appreciate everyone for being here. I will be back on Sunday for prayer and preparation. Prayer and preparation. Truly, truly appreciate everyone for being here, watching, liking the live. Truly, truly appreciate it. Jill, thank you so much for being here, friend. This is actually the end of the live. You can catch me on Sunday night for prayer and provision over your finances, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Truly, truly appreciate everyone again for watching on the replay, everyone that's watching on the live. I hope that it was something that you learned. I hope that you are determined to break some generational cycles in your family. And remember, budget with faith and prosper with grace. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.